Hello everybody. Happy weekend. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Welcome to Mountain Made Creations. If you're new here, I am Jill, and today we're going to be making all different sorts of earrings. So I'm hoping that you guys enjoy this. It's going to be different things, and then in the end we're going to do some resin, but I'm not going to resin all of the pieces while we're on live because it would just take too much, and once you see the process you know how to do it. So anyway, if you're watching this on Facebook, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what you're doing this weekend. If you're watching on YouTube, I would love it if you give me a thumbs up if you like this. Subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time a new video is posted. All right guys, so let me share this out into my private group, and then we're going to get started because I have so much to do and some cool things to show you guys. We're going to be using some Cricut Infusible ink, and I love the way that that turns out. It's just a fun, different way to get some cute earrings, unique earrings, and I love it. I've done it before, but it's been a while, so I wanted to do it again with you guys and show you how to do it. So let's get started. First of all right, what we're going to be using for the Infusible ink is some Cricut Infusible ink, and this is black and white. It's always going to look dull when you get it out of the box, but it is gonna, the colors will get more vibrant once you put heat to them. You can make shirts and all that kind of stuff with these, but you can use them on wood, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to use these wood pieces to make some really cute different earrings. And that one's broke. And yeah, I'm excited to do this because I love these black and white flowers on this paper. It's really, really cute. So that's what we're gonna do right now. And I'm just using some of these wood blanks that I have. So I'm gonna do 4 pairs. It's gonna be super easy, super fast. I've got my Cricut heat press heating up. It's for Infusible ink, you want to do 400 degrees for 60 seconds for the Infusible ink on wood. It's probably different for a shirt or clothing, so make sure if you try this, you read the instructions that comes with this, because I don't remember. It's been so long since I've used it. I don't remember exactly what temperature and time for the Infusible ink. All right, so it comes with butcher paper. You want to use the butcher paper that it comes with, the Infusible ink. I use Teflon a lot too, but you want to use the butcher paper for this. That's what they say to use, so that's what I'm going to use. And I'm just putting it down on my Cricut heat press mat. I've also have my resin in a tub of hot water. I think it helps reduce the bubbles as well. So I have that sitting there for when we get to that. So there's that. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to lay my pieces down on this butcher paper. And then we're gonna put the Infusible ink over top of it. And it needs to go down, this part down, the shiny side up. And what I'm gonna do is tape it onto the butcher paper so it doesn't move, and I have heat resistant tape as well. So we're also going to be using some torch paste and some stencils, so that's going to be super fun to do. I love doing the wood burning with the earrings. That's always fun. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. All right, we're gonna have to do something different. All right, let me try that again. Oh. All right, so it's gonna roll my paper up, so I'm gonna try to hold it down. So let me do these, and then I'll do the other 4 because it's wanting to curl my paper up. So now I put that on the wood pieces. I'm putting the butcher paper over top of it. I've got it underneath and over top. I'm gonna just tape it all down. Yikes. Where it's rolled in the box, it's really kind of hard to get it to stay. Let's tape it to the mat. How about we try that? that works. It helps a little. And you want to make sure you use heat resistant tape if you're using tape to do any of this. And I'm sure my pieces have probably moved, but we're going to go with it. So I have my Cricut heat press here. We're going to do it for 60 seconds. So let me change my time to 60, my timer. Y'all, this is so easy, and it's the finished product is so cute. Okay, so now I'm just going to hold this down for 60 seconds. I'm going to not move it around, because if you move it, you may move around the infusible ink, and you don't want to do that. So you guys tell me what you're doing this weekend. What do you guys have planned? I know it is freezing cold here. It's like 58. The wind's blowing like crazy outside. It's supposed to rain, I think, tonight and tomorrow and maybe Monday. So we are going to go to a little town called Cana, Virginia, and get some tomatoes, because they usually have produce they get from like Florida and South Carolina. Whoa, this is smoking. I guess that's okay. I think it did smoke some, if I remember correctly, the last time I did this, and it freaked me out, and it freaked me out this time too. So anyway, you might see some smoke, and it should be fine. Yeah, and just be really careful when you are handling your pieces after you do this, because it's going to be super hot. Super hot. Okay. So I'm just taking off this butcher paper. Let me get this tape off, because we're going to need it again. And I'm going to give that a minute to cool down, because it's super hot. Oh my gosh, y'all, this is so amazing. Oh my gosh, I'm just loving this right now. All right, so this is just trash. Once you pull it up, you can't reuse that. And y'all, oh my gosh. How stinking cute is that? And see, you also want to make sure when you're using these wood pieces, don't put paint or stain or anything on them. You want them to be blank. Y'all, how amazing is that? I love doing this. And when you put the resin on these, it is so, so pretty. I hope that you guys can see that detail. It is so, 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 so pretty. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to set those to the side. And here are these. I just love this, y'all. I love it, love it, love it. Okay, so now we're going to do some more. I'm going to put this one over here. Actually, I'm just going to use this one. Sorry, guys. Okay, so now I'm going to lay out 4 more pieces down here. And we're going to do the same thing. And I bought these wood pieces at Amazon, and I can put the link if you would like it. And so I just need to cut a little piece off of here. This is, I love doing this. This is one of my favorite things to do with this infusible ink. I don't usually, I mean, I've made a shirt before, but it's been a while. Okay, so now I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to tape it. I should have unrolled it, the last one, so it would stay down. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing. And I'm just gonna, I'm not using any pressure, I'm just holding it still, and the timer's going for 60 seconds. Y'all, this is so amazing. I love this, and it is gonna be so pretty with resin on them. I wish that I could get the UV resin down pat. I just haven't done it yet, and I'm so tired of wasting everything I try. So I've went back to my epoxy resin, which is actually glacier resin from A Maker Studio. That is what I use for all of my earrings, and I love it. And I usually, what I've been doing is putting the bottles in a hot water until I get ready to mix it, and then it helps keep the bubbles down. And I've also switched up. I've been using like a plastic knife and a fork to hold it down instead of using the wooden toothpick and the wooden popsicle stick. And I'll show you the pieces that I resined already, the one side, and there was not as many bubbles. I mean, I was really impressed with the way they turned out. And I've been using that resin for a while now, and I'm getting it down pretty good. But to get it even better, I was excited. Y'all, these are so pretty. Oh my goodness. I love how these turned out. And so the back of the earrings, I may either stain them or just resin the backs the way they are. But I'm not gonna put anything over top of these because it doesn't need it. Look how pretty that turns out. It's so different and so unique. I love it. I loved using this. So there is that. Isn't that awesome, you guys? Okay, so now we're going to put this away, and we're going to use some torch paste and some stencils, reusable stencils. Okay, so what we have is, I bought this torch paste off iconart.com, and this little container will last a very, very long time. So don't think that it's a ripoff because it's so small. It's really not, because that will last a long time. And it's so cool the way this works. So I'm gonna use, I have a tile, piece of tile, just a regular old piece of tile that I'm gonna put them on, because when I start to use the heat gun, it'll melt my mat if I don't put them on something. So I thought I would do some paw prints, because y'all know I have an event coming up, and the people putting it on is the Humane Society, and they're going to have dog adoptions that day. So you guys come on out, check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm also going to use these patterns. These are from Magnolia Stencil. I also make stencils using the Icon Art, but these are already have these out. So I think I'm going to go with them. And you can also do some watercolor on these if you want it to do like the flowers and watercolor them. You can do that, and then resin over top of it. That turns out pretty good. So what I'm going to do is take a couple of these, and let's do the bigger ones for the paw prints, because I'm not sure how many of those paw prints will come out. I'm only going to do 2 pairs of this. So I'm just going to put them down on the mat, and then I'm going to use the stencil. Let's see. Let's do it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave the stencil on the backing for right now and put the earrings on that, just so I have room to work, and I want to kind of see what it's going to look like, where the paw prints are going to come out at. And I think that looks good. So these are reusable mesh stencils, and they are adhesive, and they once you clean them, they're fine to reuse again. And I did not fuzz this one because it has been used a lot. So we're going to go ahead and put some torch paste on there. So I just have a little like stir stick, and then I have a squeegee. And so it doesn't take much at all when you're using torch paste. That is all you need, basically, as long as you can get it where you need it. And you can see on the stencil, I think I need just a tad bit more. You can see if you need to put some more on there. It's kind of like orange. And you'll be able to see it when I pull it up. You just don't want to use too much. And you also need to be careful when you're using your heat gun. My heat gun is really hot. You don't want to scorch the earrings. I've done that before. So you don't want to put the heat on there for too long. All right, now let's do the other one. I hope you guys are having a good weekend so far. I've just been cleaning house, and I've been making some stencils because I'm going to be painting this weekend, making door hangers. The earrings and the door hangers are my two favorite things to make. All right, so now I'm going to pull this up, and I'll show you what it looks like. And I'm going to go ahead and take this off and put it on in the water. I have a tub of water over here. You want to make sure that you keep a tub of water when you're using these stencils so that you don't let anything dry in the mesh, because then it'll ruin your stencil. So this is what it looks like right now. How cute is that? But it's going to be wood burned when we put the heat to it. So super excited for that. So there's that one. And now I'm going to put this stencil I've not used before, so I probably should fuzz it. And fuzzing it just means taking some of the stickiness off, because you don't want to stretch your stencil when you pull it up, and you don't want it to stick so hard to the surface you can't get it loose. So this is from Magnolia, and I can put a link to Magnolia Design also in the comments, but they have amazing stencils. I'm just going to cut this on the cut line, because I'm only going to use one of these, I think. But these earrings, and now I have had a request to make initial earrings, and I was going to try to do that today, but I didn't get the stencils made. And I will make the initials on my icon art system and come back live another day and do those, because I love that was requested, because that's such a neat different thing to do. Okay, so as you notice, I wrote back on the back of this, and the reason I did that is because when this is washed out and dried, I will put it back on the backing, but you need to put it on the correct side or it can mess your stencil up. So that's why I wrote back on there. So I think I'm gonna do this design, and let me grab my cloth. This is just a cloth, a microfiber cloth. This one actually came from Magnolia, but you can use your jeans, your shirt, basically anything, as long as it doesn't have lint. You don't want any lint on it, because then that will mess your stencil up too. So I'm just gonna fuzz it, which I'll show you if I can get this off of here. It's super easy. So I'm gonna take the stencil off, and I'm gonna put it down on this cloth and just pull it back up, and that's what you call fuzzing it. And it just takes off some of the sticky, so it doesn't stick to those wood pieces so much I can't get them loose and stretch the stencil. That's all this is. And you can use the Magnolia reusable stencils on fabric, on wood, on pretty much any surface, just like the icon art stencils. So I'm going to put these down on the backing, and I'm going to lay the stencil on top of the earrings. And then I'm going to just burnish it. And then I'm going to put some torch paste on here and then stencil it. It's so easy. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen the little wooden picture frames. They used to sell them at Michael's, and I haven't been able to find them in a long time, but years ago I made some of them and used like scrapbook paper, kind of like decoupage, and resined over top of them, and they turned out so cute. So I really wanted to try that again, but using maybe the sunflower pattern and then watercolor on it. I think that would make a really pretty frame. So hopefully I can find some of those frames. I haven't been able to find them at Michael's the last few times I've looked. But I'll have to show you one of them that I made. I don't have it in here with me, but I'll have to show it on one of my lives. It's really cute. Okay, so I didn't really put much pressure at all when I'm putting the torch paste on the earrings. So this is what it looks like on there. So now I'm just going to pull this stencil up. I'm going to take the earrings off. Hopefully not. Oh, that's going to be super pretty. All right, let me put this in the water. And this. All right, so this is what we have. I don't drop it. And it's going to be so pretty when it's burned on there. I love the wood burn look. I think it is so pretty. All right, so that's all we need the torch paste for. And it doesn't, on these earrings, it doesn't take long at all to get the torch paste activated and have it turn the design into wood burn. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some tape on the back, some painter's tape, just to hold it on there while I'm using the heat gun so it doesn't blow it and move it around. So I'm just sticking the tape on the back. I'm gonna push it down on there, and I'm gonna do that on all of these pieces. Again, so it doesn't blow around from the heat gun. Looks like it's ready to rain out there. And they're having the big race at Charlotte, and it's probably gonna rain it out. Maybe they'll have it Monday, hopefully. Okay, so I have these taped on there, so this is what it looks like. And now we're going to use the heat gun. And this is just a cheapy heat gun, but it gets super hot. I'm gonna put it on a low just because I don't want to burn my silicone mat. But that's why I have this on tile. All right, so let's get this going. And it shouldn't take much at all on this little piece of wood. Once it starts going, it doesn't take long at all. And you want to hold the heat gun pretty close to your piece. You don't want to touch it, but you want it pretty close. And you want to kind of keep moving it so it doesn't scorch it. It's starting to turn now. Yep, it's starting to turn. It doesn't take long at all. And I don't want to hold it on one piece for too long because that'll scorch it as well. You want to keep it moving. See, that one's almost done. And I'll let them cool off before we resin or anything. And you can also go over them with wood stain. That looks pretty good too, once you burn it. Okay, guys. That was not did not take long at all. This is super hot. All right, so as soon as this cools down a little bit, I'll pick it up and show you. No, it's not too bad. So here is what we have. How stinking cute is that, y'all? So it's going to be really, really pretty once I wipe off the charred amount, the charred, where it's charred some, I can wipe that off. And then you can also stain over top of it and then resin. I'm not sure if I'll do anything other than just resin it. I think it's cute the way it is. But I may put some stain on there just to see. But I'm going to put this to the side, and then I'm going to show you the pieces that we're going to resin. Now I'm going to go ahead and mix the resin real fast so it can be getting ready to use. Let me make sure. Let's see if I have one that's already cleaned out. Nope. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray some alcohol in this. It's a resin measuring cup, and I'm just going to clean it out with a baby wipe, and then I'll spray it again and then wipe it out with a paper towel. Alcohol also will pop bubbles and heat, so just keep that in mind. The resin does not like, the resin bubbles does not like heat, so that is your friend. Okay, that one's good and clean. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put some gloves on. Make sure when you're using resin that you put gloves on and wear a mask. I'm not gonna wear a mask today because I'm live and you wouldn't be able to hear me, but it's always good to use those precautions because it is a chemical that you're mixing and you want to be safe. It's a good idea to have a window open, a fan blowing away. So just keep those things in mind and use precautions when you're using resin. And definitely wear gloves, and it can damage your clothes if you get it on your clothes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, it's 2-part resin. And the labels have come off because I've been soaking them in water. So it's 2-part. You want to mix equal amounts. And so the measuring cup has amounts on it so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to need to put my glasses on because I can't see. And we want to make sure we measure exactly right. And I'm going to tell you that epoxy resin will start setting up in about 20 minutes. So you kind of got a little bit of time, but not a whole lot. And it'll start getting thick, and it'll be hard to work with when it starts to set up. Now it takes 24 to 48 hours to completely cure. So just keep that in mind. And just make sure that you mix exactly equal parts, or it can cause it not to cure correctly. All right, so now I have that in there. I'm gonna move this resin and the tub of water out of the way. And now you wanna mix it slow. So I have a plastic a knife, and I'm just gonna stir it really slow. They say 3 minutes. But usually if you just mix it to where you don't see that it's got a kind of a milky look to it, once that milky look to it has gone away, then you know you're good to go. And I just stir it slow and real easy. And that is the hardest part for me because I just want to stir it real fast. And so you want to kind of stir it really slow, because the faster and harder you stir it, the more bubbles you'll have, and you don't want bubbles really. And so what I'm gonna do after I get this mixed, I'll let it sit for a minute, and then I'll show you the earrings that we're gonna put resin on. I'll show you the other side of them because they turned out so good. The ones we made last Saturday with the napkins and the scrapbook paper, so cute, you guys. And that glitter Mod Podge is amazing. It looks so good on those earrings. I love it because the glitter on the earrings that's in the Mod Podge, the resin really makes that pop. So it's really came out really cute. So I'm excited to resin those paw print earrings, and I've got some other earrings that I've got to cut out that I've got paw prints on that we're making for the event. So yeah, I'm excited to do all these paw print and dog themed things. I've got a couple more dog themed door hangers, and the one I have just finished it. I've got to get a bow put on it. It is super cute, you guys. Oh my gosh. So I'll post pictures of that when it gets finished, but yeah, it's super cute. So we're looking forward to that event. That is June 24th at Crazy Horse Marina in Manita. So you guys come out and support that shelter. They want to build a no-kill shelter, which is amazing because there's so many animals that need homes. It's so sad. I just want to take them all. But anywho, so I'm still mixing this because it still looks a little bit milky. But I'm telling you guys, I think the plastic with the resin is a thing, because I pretty much had the bubbles under control, but I was still having some bubbles. So I think it was the wood, honestly. I don't know. That's just what I read that somebody tried, and I'm like, well, I'm going to try it. And it seemed to come out all right. So we're going to see. And they say spritz an alcohol on your, like if you're using a mold, spritz the alcohol on the mold or on your piece. That pops bubbles, but I use a lighter. So I don't want to use the alcohol on the pieces because I go over them with a lighter. But the ones that we did last Saturday, we're going to do the other side, and I'll show you what they turned out. So cute. So cute. So, I mean, there are some bubbles in here, but it's not bad. And it looks pretty good as far as mixed. It doesn't have the milkiness into it. So I don't know how, I don't want to turn it up and take this out. So I'm going to let this sit for a minute. I'm going to show you the pieces that we did last weekend and how they turned out. So cute. Well, so we have these. These already have resin on this side. This side does not. So look at that resin. It just makes it pop. Oh my gosh. And then these have the glitter. I don't know if you guys can see if you can see that glitter in this camera, but it makes a big difference. It's so cute. I was really happy with the way these turned out. I've got to make sure I don't get any glitter on or dust on the other side before we resin it. And so here are these. And I actually had some of the resin go through the hole, so I already drilled the holes again. I should have just waited until I did this side, but look how pretty that looks. I mean, you've got this side with no resin and then this side with resin. Such a big difference. And these cheetah, this one, I think that the glue came loose, so I don't know if I'll be able to salvage that piece or not, but look how pretty that is with that glitter on there. Oh my goodness, so cute. So I don't know if we'll do those or not. And then the stars, I'm loving these stars and that glitter. Look at that glitter sparkling. Oh my goodness, you guys, so pretty. And there's the other side. We haven't resin those yet, but that's that side. And then these flowers. I think these are my favorites of these, other than the cheetah prints. But how stinking cute. So that's that side. That's this side. So pretty. And then we have the stripes with the glitter. And then we have the stars on this side. So we're going to resin that side. And then we have the cheetah print on these. And I did not see hardly any bubbles in this. So yeah, I was really pleased with how these turned out. So cute, you guys. Oh my gosh. Loving it. So we have lots of patriotic pieces. perfect in time for Memorial Day coming up and 4th of July. And so here's the stars. Look at that glitter. I'm loving it. And then the back is red and white. And then these, oh my gosh, these are so cute. Super cute. These I didn't put the glitter on. These are just the tissue paper, but that's not resin and this is resin, so it's a big difference. It really makes the colors pop. And these are like my favorite ones. They don't have the glitter on them, but look at the little birds on there. How stinking cute are those? And then the back we just did green, so it turned out so good. I did not see any bubbles on this. I was so happy to see that. So what I'm gonna do now is put this box, I need to keep it up here, I think, because I think what I'm gonna do is maybe, I don't know, trying to find a level place for the box to go. I think we're just gonna, no, that's not gonna work. Let's move this out of the way. Because you want to have whatever you're putting your pieces in, you want them to be level, because if not, it can make the resin run to one side or another. So you want to put it on a piece of something that is that's level. Now I'm gonna wipe these off and see what this looks like. I'll show you guys. I think I might put some stain on these. I don't know. Well, that one's running. I think that cloth was wet, but those are the dog prints. So I may put stain on those. I'm not sure. All right, so let's check our resin. I'm gonna have to wear my glasses because I really can't see that good. The resin is looking really good. Not a lot of bubbles in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put some resin on. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some resin on these also, because these are so pretty. All right, so what I'm gonna use is I'm gonna take a fork and hold it down, and I'm gonna use a little knife to move the resin around on the piece. So I hope y'all can see pretty good what I'm doing. Let's see if I can get y'all a little bit closer without messing up. There, whoa, that's too much. Goodness sakes. Let me take my gloves off. There. Sorry about that, y'all. Now, I hope y'all can see that better, so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take and pour from the knife. I'm not gonna pour it from the cup because I don't want too much going on the earring piece. And it's because I heated it up before, it gets really thin. So you wanna be careful and not get too much on your piece, because then it'll run over, and you don't want that to happen. Okay, now I'm just gonna hold it down with this fork, because that's all I had. And then I'm gonna move the resin to the edge and then make sure it's all covering the piece. And then I'll put it in the box and cover it so that we don't get any kind of dust in that resin before it cures. And you want to be careful around the hole, because it's easy to cover that hole with resin, and I've done that, and I can drill it out. It's not a big deal. I try not to do that, but sometimes it happens. It happened on a couple of the other pieces from the other day. But And all I'm doing is just pushing it to the edge. You don't want it to go over the edge. So that's why you don't want to put too much resin on your pieces. And it's easy to do, especially when you heat the resin up in that water. It gets really thin. So it will be easy to run it over. But all I'm doing is I'm just taking this knife and I'm going around it. And it's self-leveling resin, so it's going to level out. That's another reason you want to make sure that you don't put too much on there. So I have those out. I'm not going to do anything to them right now. I'm going to put them in the box and cover them up. And then I will take the lighter to them when we get finished. All right, so now we can start on one of these other pieces. So here is the stars. We're gonna do this. I'm just gonna wipe it off my pants. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing. And this mat here is a silicone mat, so that once the resin dries on it, it will pop right off. So it's a good thing to use because the resin won't ruin it. Just pops right off. And I'm just using the fork to hold the piece still, is all I'm doing. Just instead of the toothpick I was using, because it's plastic. And I mean, what I read, it was like the resin doesn't like the wood. I don't know if that's true, but I think it did make a difference with the bubbles, in my opinion. I wish I could master the UV resin, but honestly, the UV resin is more expensive and you don't get, it takes a lot more of it. So I kind of have to stick with this 2-part resin, the epoxy resin. I'm used to it. I've got a good system down with it, so I'm gonna stick with it, with what works. And so that is all I'm doing, is just moving the resin around, making sure all the edges are covered. I usually take a look and make sure that there's none, that I missed anything. And so I'm just gonna carefully pick it up, put it in the box. And I got a little bit of resin on here, so I'm gonna wipe that up so I don't get that on anything. All right, so now I'm gonna do the little birds. So we're gonna do the backs of them green. And so doing the same thing, I'm just gonna pour the resin on there with this knife. And you can see how thin it is with it heating it up. So you have to be really careful and not put too much on there. It'd be easy to do. I hope that y'all can see good. And then once these cure, it'll probably take till, I usually leave them for a couple days to cure all the way. And then I'll put the hardware on them. And then I'll share them with you guys in the group or on the page. But I just love the way the resin makes the colors pop. It's so pretty. And I'm really excited to try the to put the resin over top of the unicorn spit stain that we used, the purple and pink. But I haven't stained the other side yet. I didn't get around to doing that. I'll have to do that this weekend. Being that it's going to be a rainy weekend, we're just going to kind of hang out. I'm going to be crafting, and I may come live on Monday. If I do, I'll show you what these turned out as. But this is just a fun, I don't know, I love making these earrings. I'm just making sure that I got it all the way to the edge really good. And then once I get finished, I will go over them with the lighter to pop some bubbles, but I'm gonna let it sit. But I'm telling you, I mean, I'm seeing some bubbles, but nothing like I have before. So these are turning out really good. And what I'll try to do maybe tonight is make the stencils for the initials, so we can make some initial earrings. I think that's gonna be super cute. And I love that somebody requested to see that, and that was a good idea. So yeah, I'm gonna get to that as well. But the stencils, when I make the icon art stencil, they have to dry, and I usually let them dry overnight, because I've tried to use them before before they were completely dry, and it didn't turn out really good. So I usually make sure and give them plenty of time to dry. So I just love the way this resin makes these look. Oh my goodness. And you'd never imagine that some of these earrings are made out of a napkin. It's kind of crazy, but it's really cool. I'm always looking for different napkins or tissue paper, and I've always got these earrings in mind. So yeah, I need to find some napkins with guineas on them, because y'all know I'm crazy about them guineas. They've been out and about today, running around. They've been hanging out with Wayne, watching him. He's been cutting down trees and doing stuff outside, so they've been hanging with him. They're kind of nosy, so if you're outside doing something, they are like all about it. They want to know what you're doing. They're so funny. They're very comical, very, very comical. They put you in a good mood for sure. They do me anyways. Moving right along, and I'll do a couple more, and then I'll just hop off, because I know it's boring just to sit here and watch me resin. It's the same process basically, so I'll finish these up off camera so you're not bored to death. But I hope you guys enjoy this, and if you make these earrings, I would love, love, love to see your creations. Just share them in the group or on the page. I would love to see what you're making. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be earrings. I just always love to see what someone else is making and creating and get ideas. And I had really good feedback on the What Do You Think Wednesday, the live I did about the kind of reviewing different products. I had some really good feedback, so I am going to continue to do that. And I have already got things I want to show you guys and talk about on this coming Wednesday. So I'm super excited for that. And I was very happy that I had such good feedback. It's awesome. All right, I think those look pretty good. And make sure that's covered really good. I'll put these in the box. So, all right, guys. So let me put you back up, because I'm going to go ahead and resin the rest of these off camera so that you're not watching me do that, because it can get boring. If I can get this, there we go. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, so I hope that you like this. I would love to see what you make. So share your projects in the group and on the page. And thank you guys for tuning in for me. I hope y'all have a great Memorial Day weekend, and stay safe, stay dry if it's raining in your area. And I'll try to hop back on with you guys on Monday and just do another craft or a DIY. So you guys, I hope you have a great weekend, and I will talk to you guys soon. Y'all take care.